and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the smack down. Against all odds, I will always prevail. So when you step to me, it's like hell in a cell.
Greetings and salutations, this is Christopher Daniels. I'm talking to my main man Delzinski right now. Any video game show, any video game channel, any YouTube channel called Vintage Shizzle is indeed hashtag Daniels approved.
When we talk about Bray, right, he's yeah, it's like the Dr. Dre song and the Eminem song. Forgot about Bray. And I don't know where that came from. That's a video there, mate. That is a video right there. Yo! Alright guys, Delzinski here and welcome to another We Talk. It's We Talk Wednesday and as per usual I am joined by the one and the only. He is the professor of professional wrestling. It is Weeds. How you doing, mate?
I am well, mate. I think we missed a week, didn't we? Is that because WWE are just throwing anything against the wall at the moment and seeing what sticks, or couldn't be bothered?
Well, absolutely nothing is sticking at the moment. No, I was on leave, not with Bagwell, so just before you try and get that one in. So I was away, so we kind of missed a week, but I mean, we're going to cover twice as much this time round. So we've got a lot to talk about today, that's for sure.
Lots changed in 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot's changed, but then at the same time, I think, well, then a lot of things have got more frustrating.
Where's my freaking network?
Yes, exactly. Where is your WWE network? Where is the UK's WWE network? It seems to have gone up the spout. It's completely disappeared. So, I mean, we're going to talk about the WWE network in detail because there's been a lot of changes, a lot of talk about it being a Sky channel. Ooh. So, you know, and as well, we're going to talk about The Rock, because finally The Rock came back to the WWE and possibly even saved Monday Night Raw from going downhill. And we're going to cover Ambrose. We can't exactly not cover Ambrose, Rollins, you know, the main event picture. And last but not least, is it a new era for Bray Wyatt? Because Bray Wyatt's gone downhill over the last few possibly months, and it seems like he's had a few promos now with Rowan and Harper being freed. So what does that mean for Bray Wyatt? So a lot to talk about, and I think we're going to kick it off, and I'll let you kick it off, Weeds, because I know you've had your frustrations with this. Talk to me about the WWE Network.
I was going to say there's so much to cover this week, it's not even worth doing a roundup, is it? So yeah, the WWE Network, it, for want of a better phrase, went a bit tits up over here, didn't it?
Oh, totally.
I think we were all sat there and we kind of were expecting this to happen come October 1st, and when the announcement came on the Monday Night Raw before that there were potential issues with other partners involved in the broadcasting rights of said deal, that we all knew meant that we're basically going to get the same version that Canada's got, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem of this is when they said that there was potential issues with partners. We all knew that that was Sky related, and that is the trouble, is that WWE seem to have done quite a good job in America of stitching up a lot of their TV networks by promoting things cheaper on the WWE Network and shortchanging people, or should I say shortchanging networks, by saying that this is the price if you buy it on pay-per-view, on cable, and this is the price if you get it on the WWE Network, $9.99. So, I mean, that is a massive slap in the face to the TV networks, and I think maybe, you know, other countries have got wind of this, particularly Sky, and decided to say, well, no. We have, we have your pay-per-views over here, and we'll quite happily incorporate your little network into our Sky channels, which is something that nobody everybody wants. I do not want that. I'm pretty sure you're not too fussed as long as you get the total package like Lex Luger. But for me, it's just a huge no. I will let you go first because I'll just get ranting and it'll all go wrong. So yes.
Get ranting. You've already bloody started.
I have not ranted.
You sound like me a couple of weeks ago. No, definitely number of points you've raised there. The first one, Sky. If we rewind, about 6 months ago over here, we got a big announcement via Sky that they basically sealed the rights for all WWE content up until 2019. And this, strangely enough, big difference for the UK here, involved all 12 pay-per-views per year as well. Normally it was only 8 and has been 8 for quite a while. It used to be none at all. So we were quite lucky for a very, very, very long time. And so as soon as this came out, which was shortly after the WWE Network launch in America, it made me raise my eyebrows a bit because thinking, well,
The Rock, I like that. Very nice.
Well, yeah, it made me raise both eyebrows, so like double Rock. So yeah, I was instantly thinking, we're going to get shafted here straight away because there's no way with the amount, and I think it's the 4 biggest markets they always say for the WWE are the US, India, China and the UK, and I'm pretty sure the UK is pretty much up the top there in terms of you know it's long been supported here. In terms of Sky, it's 25-30 year relationship that the two companies have got. So Sky agreeing to anything and letting them have an over the top broadcast of WWE content, never going to happen in the UK. They don't do it with the NFL, and the NFL over here is completely fringe sport. If you want to get NFL, you can watch the games on Sky. If you want to get every game, there's another option called Game Pass. But you're literally, if Sky are showing a game, they can't show it on Game Pass. And that's the problem with Sky. Excuse me, that they want a monopoly over absolutely everything. So I'm fully expecting, very similar to Canada, that we're going to get a channel subscription, probably via Sky, and that also opens up a lot of questions if you've got other suppliers in the UK, whether it's Virgin Media, whatever it is. How that content is going to be carried over to us in the UK is definitely up for question mark at the moment, particularly as they said, we're not only not getting it launched now in October, we're not even going to have an announcement of when this is actually going to happen in the UK until the beginning of November. So big stance. And the WWE, for the massive company they are, very, 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 very Mickey Mouse kind of strategy to me to how they've approached the network launch outside of the US.
Yeah, I think you covered it pretty much.
I'm done ranting. I have no voice.
I think you covered all the points that are needed, and it's totally frustrating being here in the UK. If you think about it, at least, although the network's not what everything it cracked up to be in America, at least you've got it now. At least you have the option to buy it or not. For us over here, we sit here and we listen to $9.99, $9.99, WWE Network, WWE Network, WWE Network, WWE Network. That's all we hear, and we can't even get it. And it's so frustrating. And now we're being told that we're getting a half-assed network. And
we don't know completely yet, do we? But that's fully of what we're expecting because of these broadcasting issues.
The reason why it's so annoying, and if we do get a half-assed network, which we will, but if we do, the reason why it's so annoying is because everybody wanted this to be something that they can get on their Xbox, get on their PS3, get on their iPad, get on their phone. You know, you just want to go and watch something from the archive and you can go check that out. Same goes for the pay-per-views. If you want to go and check out the archive, you go and check out that pay-per-view. If you want to go and watch that, you can watch it on any device. That was the exciting bit about it. And the problem now is that it's just going to be some channel that, I don't know, maybe they'll even dictate what you're going to watch on that channel. It's just frustrating for me, and it's not a network if they do that.
I mean, for you, the WWE Network, what was the thing you were most looking forward to from it? There was a couple of things. If you were said, I want to pinpoint a couple of things, it's going to be, this is why I'm buying it, and this is what I want as well.
all the Monday Nitros for starters, the back catalogue of Nitro.
So the catalogue,
yeah, and then I was obviously pay-per-views. I mean, it's kind of stupid to take out the pay-per-views if that's their plan.
and that's exactly what I wanted as well. I wanted to watch the old pay-per-views, going all the way back from the Starrcades, the WrestleManias, right from the beginning, all up to, like you're saying, the hundreds and hundreds of hours of Nitros and Raws and all the things that, you know, we enjoyed watching wrestling when we were watching it, you know, a few years back. And that is, you know, if we get a TV channel, we're not going to get that. You're not going to be able to download Halloween Havoc 1993 or Starrcade 97, are you? It's not going to work like that. And it's like you're saying, it's, for me, and I know we've spoken outside of this, the WWE's strategy, not just in their programming at the moment, which is a bit hit and miss, the whole thing for me outside is very hit and miss at the moment. And I think this goes back to something we'll probably come on to a bit later, which I think they've got a very distinct identity crisis at the moment in what they're trying to do and be.
Yes. They have totally got an identity crisis. They do not know what audience they want to appeal to. The WWE Network is not going to appeal, and this is one of the other things, to little kids because they're not paying for it. That's the other thing. You know, so they're a PG company that appeals to little kids, but actually the demographic they need to start going for is like your 20 to 35-year-olds. And they do that with some of their bigger superstars by using the words bitch, piss, moan, whatever. They're using, you know, those sort of words, but they're a PG company. And this is the bit. They just don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they're aiming it at. So some weeks you get this thing where someone will come out and curse on the TV, and then the next week you'll just get all this PG-fied bunny stuff, and do you see what I mean? I can just, even when I talk about it, I get confused about how ridiculous the product has got over a period of time.
My definitive example of this, and we're probably moving a little bit into what we're going to talk about later in terms of the Ambrose and Rollins angle. Dean Ambrose. Well, I did actually like that. Randy Orton with that mustard over his face was hilarious. I reckon he got it right in his eye. We're going into weird territory already. I do apologise. I'm going to step away. I'm going to back away from the weird territory very, very quickly. I've completely lost my train of thought now. But yeah, going back to Rollins and Ambrose. Yes. So the angle to get Dean Ambrose off television, what was it, Mr. Delzinski? What happened to the fringe, you know, the absolute maniac that is Dean Ambrose? What happened to him?
Putting his head through a centre block.
How did he reply? He put green mist from a bloody briefcase in someone's face. Now, if someone put my head through a cinder block, one, you probably wouldn't be seeing me for about 6 to 7 months if you ever saw me again. And my idea of revenge would not be put a load of green shit inside a briefcase to blow up in someone's face. And that is the ultimate lack of identity there for me in the WWE at the moment. It started off Attitude Era. It's ended holding hands with John Cena somewhere.
Yeah, the serious element of like a serious injury going to then the downright just trying to be entertaining again, and that's fine if you want to be entertaining, but there's no middle ground. I've seen people on YouTube talk about this, and they're saying, you know, when a company is more than willing to promote a bunny over 90% of their roster, something's clearly wrong, and that is what I mean. Who are they appealing to? Who really wants to see the bunny? I mean, I know I covered it a couple of weeks ago, but that was just for shits and giggles. So, you know, it's just...
No, I know what you mean. I mean, we've covered it before, where we've said that final hour of Raw is weird. It's like a total...
You made a good point there. Because I'm gonna just to stop.
Write it down. Now, the time, the date, the year that this happened.
We're not going off topic. We're still on the network. But Triple H had an interview recently, and he did say that because everybody says that NXT is the better show. Yeah, NXT is the better show. It's better than the bigger shows. And Triple H went on to say that the reason why NXT is why people compare it and say it's better is because you're only writing for 1 hour, whereas with Raw they've got to write for 3 hours, and it's very difficult to write a show for 3 hours and keep, that intensity like NXT has got. Well, let me do you a favour. Go back to making it 2 bloody hours and you wouldn't get this problem.
Ding, 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 ding. And the prize goes to Delzinski. That's exactly. If you haven't got the content to fill it, what do you not try and do? Fill it with shit.
Yeah.
And that is what they are doing at the moment. I get, and this goes into this unconvoluted kind of way they are promoting the network. I know that they want you to go and have a look at Total Divas. I know they want you to have a look at when they did Legends House and all that kind of stuff. Great. If I want to go and do that, I will subscribe to the network. What I don't need is a half an hour segment after Brock Lesnar's just had the shit kicked out of him by John Cena, or Ambrose has had his head put through a cinder block, to be followed up by Brie Bella and Nikki Bella having a chat with Jerry Springer. It doesn't flow for me. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but does that ultimately sell the network as well? Because my view is if I'm going to go and buy the network, then I don't mind seeing, like a 30-second trailer for the Legends House, because I actually would watch that. I think that's something that would be really interesting to see. And, Total Divas isn't everyone's cup of tea, but if they had the 30-second clip from it, then that's fine. But it's not that. This has now become overkill with the promotion of the network, that segments are being filtered for promotion of the network. People dropping in $9.99 into a serious promo. It's just getting too much. This is not a marketing campaign to promote the network. This is just desperation.
There is only one guy for me that can pull off the $9.99 promo, and that's because he spent his whole life getting cheap pops, and that's Mick Foley. So if you want him to come in and do the $9.99 shit every week, let him do it. When you have a legend, and I'm not saying Mick Foley isn't a legend, because he is actually the first DVD I ever bought as a wrestling, actually video I ever bought as a wrestling fan was a Cactus Jack one. But what I'm trying to say is you can't have Hogan, where it was special when Hogan came back, and it's just become ridiculous when Hulk Hogan turns up, and just all he's there is he turns up for 5 minutes to go $9.99.
So why don't they, instead of doing, the promo, the constant promos of it's $9.99, $9.99, $9.99. Why didn't they just decide? Legends House, good example. Why not get the legends to cut like a traditional promo and just have it as like, as you come up to a break, so you're going to go out of Raw on a break. Why don't they just have a little promo of, I don't know, one of the legends, Jimmy Hart or someone with his megaphone saying you need to subscribe to the WWE Network. Those little subtle promos would work for me. You don't have to have someone come out to the ring, to stand in the ring and tell you to subscribe to the WWE Network or subscribe to the WWE Universe, like Hulk Hogan said when he first came into the WWE. That wasn't even rehearsed. It's just
But I think just going back to what we were saying, I completely agree. But it is this disjointed kind of way that they're trying to do it, and I think they're trying to do too much at one time. They're thinking, well, we've got to promote this, we've got to promote that, and we've got to make sure we get that in, and we've got 3 hours, so of course we can get it all in. But the problem is that takes away, like we were saying, from what they're trying to achieve. For me, the network, if it's going to work, has got to, because obviously you've got to be over 18 to subscribe, because you've got to have a credit card or debit card of some kind. A majority of wrestling fans, there are kids there who are obviously where they've gone back and they've gone full circle back towards that kind of PG era. But your hardcore wrestling fans that are stumping up for this network, more often than not, if they're not parents buying it on behalf of their children, it's going to be wrestling fans who grew up in that Attitude Era. Now, there's a lot of consensus that they don't want. I get that they don't want chair shots. They don't want blood. Fair enough. That's absolutely fine. But if you're going to have edgy storylines, stick with them. And that's what we've already kind of said. So if you're going to be smashing someone's head for a cinder block, the reply can't be green mist from a briefcase. If you're worried about alienating the network and the networks, I'm talking TV networks now, don't worry about it as much, because, you know, if they don't like what they're seeing, you've got your own frigging network now with 700,000 subscribers, and you get a hell of a lot more if you just run ads on TV networks than if you can actually put on regular decent content. And I'm not saying the WWE's content regularly is bad. The problem is, for everything that's good, there is something that is bloody awful at the minute. And that's the main problem with me, is that they're trying to do too many things and trying to please too many either companies or people at the same time.
So, with that in mind, is it going to flop like Meat from Pretty Mean Sisters? Remember Meat?
I do.
Or is it going to pass the test? Do you see what I did there?
Oh, very good. I do. I am going to get splinters in my arse and basically say I'm sitting on the fence at the moment, because until they make a conscious decision for me to, you know, we're doing it one way or the other, I don't see how it's going to succeed. For me, the cheapest thing they've done recently is they gave us Cena Lesnar 3 in this, what has been a trilogy recently, when it came a pay-per-view too early. Cena Lesnar 3 should have finished in Hell in a Cell. That was the natural conclusion for that feud. The reason it got stumped up and put at the Night of Champions pay-per-view is because a lot of 6-month commitments to the WWE Network were just about coming to an end. So the cynic in me thinks, what could we do to get people to subscribe for another 6 months? Maybe we'll put Lesnar on another pay-per-view, build this great angle eventually, which I'm not saying Night of Champions were bad, because it was interesting how they ended it, and obviously we've discussed this in We Talk already. But for it to end how it did, and to get the Raws that we've had afterwards, makes no bloody sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just...
So I think it was just a gimmick, and it hooked people in for another 6 months. And they spent a lot of time telling us, or telling the subscribers already, you'll get this all the way up to Royal Rumble will be included in this. And they said it time and time again, you're going to get Royal Rumble. And that's it. You know, they got you another 6 months. And there's talk already on the dirt sheets. And again, not that we tend to pay too much attention to them, but there's talk already that we might not even see Lesnar until the new year. Now, personally, I think that's a load of bollocks. I think we'll see him at Survivor Series. But imagine if we didn't see Lesnar until the new year. How ridiculous would that be?
Well, I could kind of get used to it, because I actually think that it might happen. So,
I mean, as I said, his advocate can't even ask to turn up now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is what I mean about it. It just feels like you've said, it's gone into overdrive, the WWE Network, and everything, and you know, it's just everything is related to the network in some shape or form. So it doesn't necessarily matter. Like you say, even matches now are actually evolving around renewal subscriptions of the WWE Network. You know, we'll put you on a good show because we need to get the subscribers to renew, and it's things like that are devaluing the product ultimately. And obviously this is quite a negative, but I don't think it is a negative view, because I think this is a topic that a lot of people want to talk about, the network, because it is such a huge thing. It is huge, but it just feels like it's been a bit of a catastrophe, the way they've actually done it, the way they've implemented it.
A bit of a flustercuck, you might say.
What is one of those when it's about?
Well, you have to ask Buff Bagwell on your week's annual leave with him. No, but I completely agree. And that is the problem at the moment, is that, you know, we are getting this rammed down our throat regularly. We're already watching. If you want people to subscribe to the network, start advertising somewhere else. If you're watching and you're tuned into Raw already, there's pretty much, you know, you're going to, and you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you tune in every week, you're going to be subscribed to the network already, aren't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what we'll put to the audience today is, if you're in America, what is your original thoughts of the WWE Network? If you're subscribed already to it and you've got access to the library and the pay-per-views that come with it, is it good? Is it worth $9.99? And is it, all that it's expected to be? Because there's a lot of people that have got it in America that say it's got a lot of lag, it's got issues, and that's not good as well. That's not best for business. And then to the UK, I mean, how frustrated are you? And I mean, this is to other, the other countries that haven't got the network yet. How frustrating is it, not having access to this? And also for the Canadians and people who have had the network tweaked, it's what's your view of that? Now you've got it as a channel. You're supposed to have it as a proper official network. It's not really gone that way. What are your views on this? It's a humongous talking point, and I say we've covered it quite in detail today. And I mean, we've voiced our frustrations of it because I think that, it has been frustrating getting this in, and we've had to sit here for weeks and listen to them saying $9.99 WWE Network. Well, when will we ever see it, and what are we actually gonna get? So yeah, it's been something that's been playing on mine and Weed's mind for a long time. We've had conversations about it before, and now we're putting it to you. So the network is done. I think we can take a breather. We can go, because
a bit more positive.
Yeah,
after the show.
Well, could anything be more positive? There's always going to be a couple of haters out there. They'll be like, "No, he shouldn't have come back." But let's just cut to the chase. How awesome was it to see the electrifying one himself, The Rock, back in the WWE? And I actually thought it was a fantastic segment with him and Rusev. It was just, actually made me think that this could be the sort of guy that is the one to stop Rusev at some point. We know that he's not come back full time. We know this was just a one-off. He was in, was it New York City? He was in New York.
Yeah, it was Brooklyn.
Yeah, he was in Brooklyn, and, he was back. He was doing something for, I think it was for Warner, and, he came to the arena. And for all the people that complain about The Rock, to me, that just kind of sums it up. The Rock came and did WWE a favour, and I think you'll find that maybe if you look at the figures, he probably did him a huge favour because he may have just saved Raw for another week.
No, totally. And obviously we've been quite big advocates, not on Paul Heyman's kind of level, but for Rusev and Lana and what they've been doing recently. Obviously WWE went a little bit too far with the Big Show ripping down a Russian flag the week before. But I do believe Michael Cole said he got goosebumps when The Rock, and to be honest, I marked out completely as well. It was great to have the Rock back, albeit this is the first time we've seen him since Mania.
It is
the first time we've seen him hit anyone since the previous Mania.
But it felt really good. It didn't feel like contrived. It didn't feel like him against John Cena, where that felt a little bit awkward. This felt like The Rock was there to talk how he wanted to talk, and that's why it felt good. That's why it felt like the electricity was running, because it felt like he'd come back for this one night, so he's going to just give them a great promo, and he really did do that. He really did take it to Rusev, and the best bit about this was that Rusev was having none of it. I mean, just the way that Rusev was like, what did he call him? What did he exactly call him? Was it garbage? Did he call him garbage?
You are rubbish.
He just called him something very. It was just very blunt, very straight to the point, and it's that's Rusev. And Lana again, just selling it like $1 million, just being completely stuck up. And they've continued a bit of an on and off war on Twitter as well, because The Rock was tweeting that he thought Lana was quite hot, and she called him, I think, something like scum. So
it was sexy speak.
So I mean, yeah, it was great, and I think it was a big deal for Rusev to be in the ring with someone of The Rock's stature, and I'd a lot rather see come round to like a WrestleMania time. If Rusev's going to get a big payoff, I'd much rather see him go up against someone like The Rock, if we can't have a Kurt Angle, than a John Cena. Why am I saying that? John Cena's going to be in the main event anyway, so
Yeah, I thought three things from the Rock Rusev promo. The first thing I thought was hilarious when The Rock talked about pie and gave Lana Where have I got Lana from? Lana, a very sly little wink. I loved the bit that he got a little Beastie Boys reference in there. No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
And Jay-Z.
And I also it was just awesome. Like you said, all three of them were an absolute credit to that segment. The only disappointing thing about it,
well,
no rock bottom.
Yeah,
it didn't last long enough, did it?
No, it didn't. But I think there's a good reason. I mean, I think the idea behind that is if The Rock had hit a rock bottom and a people's elbow on Rusev, they really devalued Rusev going, you know, particularly with The Rock just going away. I think just a couple of right hands, send him flying, caught him off guard. Rusev can come out next week and say, I didn't expect The Rock to be here, but if he was here this week, I'd crush him. And you know, that works. And hopefully The Rock does come back later on and it reignites again. Because this would be much better than Cena versus Rock, because they've already done it better than that already.
Do you know what this segment told me? That the Big Show does not have a flying chance in hell of beating Rusev.
But the Big Show baby would.
He would. The New Year's Big Show baby.
Still waiting for that baby, because I stayed up, right? I stayed up. I think it wasn't New Year's Eve, was it? That's going to make me sound really sad.
It was around that sort of time.
Well, it was round then. It wasn't New Year's Eve. I was busy. But you know, it was all right. It was like round New Year's Eve. It was the Raw of New Year, and I was waiting for that Big Show baby, because it was advertised and they did that massive video. It's all good, and then it was like he never was even there. He went off somewhere else because someone got injured, so he had to attend that. False advertising, WWE. Don't do that. It's bad.
Let it go, bro.
You can't let it go. He needs to come back. He needs to be back. I even made him on WWE 2K15. You can download him. I'll upload him for you. So yeah, guys, check him out. Big Show baby.
Big Show.
Community Creations. He's on there. But yeah, I mean, the Rock was just fantastic, and I thought it was like a classic Rock promo. It was back to his best. So I felt it was awkward with Cena. And
are you trying to say if you put people with Cena, you don't get the best from them?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you don't. Even now, just look at Ambrose. It brings us on to the next subject. But first, guys, if you liked The Rock being back, give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button, because I was marking out, and I think Weeds was. But yes, back to what you just said. Ambrose is going to suffer the same fate as everybody else when they meet Cena. They just can't do it. It just is rubbish.
So at the moment, we're a little bit unsure of what's going on in Hell in a Cell. We know we've got
It should have just been Ambrose versus Rollins. It should have been that.
It should have been Lesnar versus the World. That's what it should have been. What we've got? So is it just the one match we've got confirmed, which I'm assuming is Cena versus Ambrose from Raw, and that's not in Hell in a Cell, is it? That's just a regular match where potentially the winner is going on to fight Rollins, which I assume is going to happen, and the poor bastard who loses is probably going to end up fighting Orton. If he's really unfortunate, he's going to end up fighting Kane, so far more likely to be Orton. So I would imagine Mr. Cena and Mr. Ambrose are going to be pulling double duty. Now I'm sure we'll come on to some Hell in a Cell predictions in a future video, but my initial gut reaction is that Mr. Ambrose will get to fight Mr. Rollins at that pay-per-view.
I should bloody hope so. If Cena goes over, oh no, I don't think I can stand another one. That's it. I can't even bring myself to talk about Cena anymore. I'm so increasingly frustrated with him keep ruining the new guys.
Well, Ambrose got a little bit more over, not that he needs it, by ditching him this week on Raw, which was class.
But
he got even more over by turning up with a bloody hot dog stand.
Yes, the hot dog stand. It was pretty funny. I know we said earlier, there's that issue with the WWE not knowing the balance between the two of, entertainment and then, your Attitude Era style kind of hard hitting shit. But I mean, let's just face something here.
I haven't seen that before.
let's just see. The hot dog stand came down. Ambrose kind of nailed it. Whipped out the two ketchup and the mustard. Gave one to Orton. Gave one to Kane. It was really entertaining. And then we got in the ring, and it was still entertaining. And you know what I'm going to say next?
Adjustment.
Yeah, that spoilt it again. And they weren't even good attitude adjustments. They were like some floppy.
And how should it have finished after he hit a couple of attitude adjustments? What should we have seen?
He should have just fucked off.
We should have seen Ambrose hitting Cena. That would have done it.
No, I just can't talk about Cena anymore.
But the best bit, Ambrose for me was brilliant on Raw, and there was that classic bit where near the beginning when Rollins going, "Yeah, I know I've got a target on my back. I know these guys are after me," and then Cena just bombs the ring. Oh my God! When was the last time you seen Cena charge the ring with no bloody music? Thank you. And that bit where Rollins goes into the crowd, and it was a little bit of a comedy segment where he's like, "Yeah, I got you, John. I fooled you, John." And then he's like, "Yeah," trying to, go to the guy next to him, and the guy next to him is Ambrose, who's just like deadpanning it. I thought that was hilarious.
What is this? Ready? What is that?
I don't know. You all right?
That's Dean Ambrose entrance music, isn't it? It's the intro.
Oh, right. Yeah. I didn't get what you were doing.
I don't know what I was doing. I just fancied doing it.
That's what I heard. That
sounds like something submerging, like a submarine or something. That's not a submarine. I don't know what that is. That's like a fart in the bath. But I mean,
I'm a shower guy, so I don't.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Just ask Bagwell.
Oh, weird. Just weird. Plain and simple weird. I think the Ambrose things. Who would have ever thought that Dean Ambrose would have been the face coming out of the Shield? I mean, that's something that really, really no one expected. So fair play to WWE for doing something like this. But
it's just nuts.
I think everybody just really wants to enjoy this feud, and sticking a Cena in there, it's just unnecessary again. I think
you got to stick him somewhere. Be pleasant. Don't lower the tone. Don't drop to that level.
Turn him sideways and stick him straight up Vince McMahon's. I mean, it didn't need Cena to get involved. It didn't need anyone else to get involved. It's quite good having the authority, Randy Orton and Kane ducking in and out. But I don't even really want to see that. I just want to see these two just constantly back and forth. And then ultimately something adds to it with the briefcase coming into play, which I think will come into play at some point. It will be something along the lines of put your money where your mouth is and put that briefcase on the line. And then who knows? I think it has to be. I
think it has to be something like that. Because for me, this is where they've missed a trick with Lesnar. And I think in WWE's head, they think for Lesnar to be his most over, he's got to be a UFC fighter and it's got to be one-on-one. And I think they have missed a great opportunity to elevate, Orton to a level he's never been before, potentially with Lesnar, and Rollins and Ambrose into that kind of main event stratosphere. And all you needed was a little bit of Lesnar involved. Any one of those guys mixes it in with Lesnar, they're automatically not just over to the point where they were over before, they are completely over. And that's where, you could have said, for Lesnar's appearances, we'll get him involved in this angle, and you throw all of them involved. And I think, like I said before, have some massive 6-man, which would have included Reigns, but you could have, put Kane in that eventually, and you would have made yourself, for me, completely over superstars. Now they're getting over by themselves by what they're doing anyway, but you put them in with a bona fide champion like Lesnar, proper hardcore wrestler, and you don't even have to do anything. You could just turn up and have them have the segments with him. It would do itself.
Yeah, but mustard and ketchup wouldn't have got very far against Lesnar, would they, really?
I don't know. I
That's their
think he
new
would have eaten the
nicknames now.
hot dog stand.
If Randy Orton and Kane do become a permanent tag team, they should be called Mustard and Ketchup. That's for me would be
I
perfect.
think you just you've got your next CAWs for 2K14, maybe 2K15.
The Legend Killer Mustard and the Big Red Ketchup Kane. I mean, come on, that is perfect. WWE, sign it up right now. Put it on. Put him in the ring against the Bunny, and we've got a good old time on. I mean, it would
But
just
do
be
you
great.
get what I'm saying with Lesnar?
Yeah, well,
They've missed an opportunity, I think.
What I think at the pay-per-view at the Hell in a Cell would have been, like you said, to have them all involved, or then potentially have Lesnar come out and just absolutely annihilate them all in the cell and be the man standing there with the belt.
That would be how I'd end it at the moment, is that I would have Lesnar basically come out to close the pay-per-view after whatever match and go, do you know what? You are ants. You have fucked me off, and this is the comeback. At the end of the pay-per-view, I'm doing what you did to me.
Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous to think that. I mean, someone of Brock Lesnar's status of a badass, he's an ass kicker, he doesn't mess around, he's just going to take what happened, regardless or not of what the old Walrus said, where it was like, you got given a pass this time, but Brock Lesnar will be facing next time. I mean, it would just be even more badass if the crowd, I mean, they played it like he's not going to be at Hell in a Cell. Well, just keep playing it that way and then let him rock up at the end. Maybe even just come in and punch the cell, the cell door, or come in and just annihilate.
Come and cane it, bad blood, rip it off.
No, Ketchup can't do that anymore. It's not one of his signature moves. But you know what I mean. They actually gave Kane a better look, to be honest, giving him that Ketchup. It was better than what this carnation of him is at the moment.
Well, he was the big red machine again, wasn't he? To some degree.
Some degree, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Heinz version, yeah.
I think they're just maybe overcomplicating the main event picture with all these like little matches going on in between. I think, and again, does it come back to Lesnar's deal being a pain in the arse? Well, I heard he negotiated a new deal, which doesn't seem to be working too well. So, what's going on, WWE? What did you sign him up to?
He plays when he wants.
Bork Laser, he plays when he wants. So yeah, you go. It's going to be interesting. But what do you guys think is going to go down at Hell in a Cell? Do you actually think Brock Lesnar is going to be there? Do you?
I do.
I'd love to see, actually, at Hell in a Cell, Paul Heyman jump off the top of the cell and like just put Cena through a table.
Jump off. If that Walrus
that'd
off
be
the
so
top
good.
of the shell, I don't think we'd ever see him again.
Well, we wouldn't see Cena again, because if Heyman
not if he
nailed
landed on him, no.
that would be so good. The Walrus splash.
Oh,
that'd
I was
be
going to
good.
say, even Cena, he took a heavy knee this week from Ambrose on Raw. That was the one thing I was going to say. If you are a Cena hater, you practically love the knee that Ambrose gave him by accident into the side of his head because it knocked him sideways.
Well done.
Little off topic.
Well done.
So for all the things that they have been getting wrong recently, they are starting to fix something again somewhat, aren't they?
But are they? But
I think they are.
Are they? Because,
I think they are.
Because everybody has been wondering what's going on with Bray Wyatt. Because
I think you'll find back in May, or when we started doing these, I think you'll find Weeds here, Mr. Know-It-All, that's right, the professor, said that I was getting bored of the Bray Wyatt character, the Bray Wyatt family, and that they needed to look either elsewhere or just start disbanding it, because a feud with Cena, and we both agreed on this, was not something we wanted to see. So what we've got recently are two very interesting vignettes, haven't we?
So what you're saying, it's your fault that the Wyatt family have split up, and that is the end of the Wyatts and all three of their careers.
Well, how pissed off were we that they weren't even on the Night of Champions pay-per-view?
Yeah.
He hadn't missed a pay-per-view in over a year.
Well, I actually, the promos, let's just talk about the promos first. They're pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty awesome. And is it going to be the last time we're ever going to see a I mean, because it looks like from the promos that Bray Wyatt has set them free.
He's fixed them, Delzinski. He's fixed them.
But what does that mean? Does that mean that Harper and Rowan no more work with Bray Wyatt? Does that mean that they're just going to become a tag team? And that they, I don't think it does. I actually think it's going to mean that they're going to be singles competitors. But
singles with feuding with Wyatt?
No. I think that he's fixed them, which means that now they're ready to go it alone, and you could see it in I think it was the Harper promo. You know, a bit more attitude, a bit more talking.
He said something.
So yeah, so I mean, they're starting to show that these guys have proper characters, and this is character development that probably has been needed for quite some time with these guys. I don't get why they didn't do this in the first place. Just give them a bit more oomph, a bit more character. It was almost just like it's all about Bray. And then the biggest problem that they had with it being all about Bray is then they fucking didn't put him over well enough to make sure it was all about Bray, because they could have given him the fucking belt. And I'm still adamant that if they kept Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan together and went after Lesnar, that would have been the best ever feud.
Oh, it would have been awesome. But that's the problem, is that when they've got into crucial situations, you know, that if it involved Jericho or Cena, whoever it may be, it was always all three of them, wasn't it? It was never Wyatt by himself. And that became the problem, I think, for Wyatt. And that's why it became stale. I think we were said before, well, I definitely said the promos have become so monotonous that I was like, just finish them in 30 seconds. So I don't want to hear you rambling bullshit for, 5 minutes. But those two promos they've cut for Harper and Rowan, and obviously Bray is fully throughout them, and it's gone back to when they first kind of launched kind of promos. They were perfect, and it sets them up. I would actually even turn them in on themselves and have them if you want to be set free properly, you've got to escape me kind of thing. But I know you've mentioned that you see potentially maybe another pair aligning themselves with Mr. Wyatt.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a rumour going around that possibly this leads the way, and as I say, we don't know what's going to happen with Harper and Rowan, what they're actually going to do, but it leads the way and the door open for him to hook up Bray Wyatt, to hook up with some new potential cronies, which would be the Ascension, which would be very interesting, because
we need to get them on Raw and SmackDown. They've needed to be on there for quite a while now.
Are you watching NXT at the moment? Because these guys, I mean, maybe not so much last week, but these guys are getting. Actually, I'm going to give spoilers away if I start saying anything else. But
being Wyatted.
Yeah, I've been censored now, because they have been getting their asses handed to them since Hideo Itami, got that right, yeah? How about that? Kenta actually came in. So let's just face it, Hideo Itami. I don't know why it gets more French when I say it. It's not in French.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No. I was going to say you're going to have a go at Prince Devitt next. Prince Devitt!
It's Finn Balor now.
Yes, which means I'm sure someone's enlightened you.
What?
What the meaning of his new name is.
Oh, does it mean Prince?
It does indeed. Of. Look at me sounding like a teacher.
Go on,
is it Prince of Darkness?
Is that what it means?
I think it might mean that. I might be completely
You weren't
wrong.
talking about the fella that had his ribs taken out for certain reasons, were you? Not that Prince.
What did I see?
Not the artist. No, he's some chubby fella that lives in the UK, so it's not him.
Some chubby fella. He used to be quite a good professional boxer until someone knocked him flat on his ass, didn't he?
I think it was until someone showed him McDonald's, and then it all went terribly wrong from there.
So his new name is Finn Balor, or Balor. I don't know.
I think it's Finn Balor, isn't it?
Balor, which means I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wiki wow this right now.
I've already made a video on this, so people know that it's Finn Balor. But yeah.
Yeah, it's it's Prince or something. I'm gonna go Darkness. I'm probably wrong.
Probably are. But yeah, I mean, the Ascension have been getting a bit of a beating from Kenta since he sort of rocked up and came into town. They got the better of him last week. But yeah, I mean, they aren't exactly as dominant as what they were on NXT. So if you're going to keep that momentum of them being, pretty badass, you're going to have to get them up there soon. And I say pairing them up with Bray Wyatt could be very good.
They're an interesting look because they're quite like the Road Warriors. In kind of the sizes difference between the pair.
But you said that was the issue in the first place of having two people with him. So what would be the difference with these two? And I'm still saying to you that I don't think the two people with him is the problem. I think the problem is that he's not been given a belt. And the belt I want him to get is the biggest one because the biggest one would put him over.
Well, the problem is that if you're going to have the Ascension, you want them essentially as acolytes. And to be honest with you, in this WWE era, I do not.
That's the APA Protection Agency right there.
You sound like Optimus Prime at the end. I was going to go, damn.
It's the Acolytes theme, wasn't it?
It was indeed. I think when they had the APA. It was some form of it anyway. But the odds of the WWE doing a kind of an acolyte angle, I mean, they've got as risque as they are going to get with what they're doing the Wyatt family already. I mean, give those boys a banjo and we're writing Deliverance.
It's just I just think that Bray, when we talk about Bray, right, he's it's like the Dr. Dre song and the Eminem song, "Forgot About Bray." And I don't know where that came from.
That's a video there, mate. That is a video right there.
I'm going to dress up as Bray Wyatt, go a massive beard, and then come out with some heavyweight hip hop lyrics. Forgot about Bray.
You forgot about Bray.
You didn't see that one coming, did you? That's a classic.
I did not see that. Yeah, I think you should just end the show there. You've nailed it this week. You have the go-to line of the show. What are you going to do? We talk because you forgot about Bray.
Hashtag forgot about Bray. I mean, it was that though. They did. They this guy's like gone through feud after feud after feud, and he's gone through big feuds, but he hasn't really. He has won some of those big feuds, but it still felt like that they weren't doing the right things with him. I mean, he's even stood the test of time of having recruited Daniel Bryan into the Wyatt family only for a week or so later for him to actually just go, sorry, actually this didn't work, so I'm going to kick your ass now. So he even stood the test of time of stupid decisions like this, and now he's getting another go at it. You've got to think that they have to get it right this time.
Well, he has to go for me into the main title picture with Lesnar and all the other guys surrounding in that. Where he's more likely to end up is probably feuding with his own guys for Dolph Ziggler's IC title. And that would be completely wrong if he ends up there. And that is the problem I think that Bray Wyatt's already had for the last year and a half, is he's betwixt and between where he actually sits. And I think that's where he's had this like marquee kind of, he's going to get the Chris Jerichos when they come back. He's going to get Cena when he's got nothing to do. And the problem with Cena, the Cena match was they tried something different. It was a little bit weird at Mania, but it did get better as that feud developed. Chris Jericho, the first promo was great from Jericho with the Quiet Wyatt. But then it slowly, other than the matches, fizzled out very quickly, so much so that they blew it off on that Raw with a steel cage match. So I get what you're saying about Harper and Rowan. They needed to be saying stuff, and that's why maybe having another two new characters, not necessarily fulfilling those roles, but it's different. And maybe that's what the WWE think at the moment is what Bray Wyatt needs, which is something different. But for me, going back to where they started with those vignettes, very much how the Wyatt family started in the first place, is completely on point for me at the moment, and that's exactly what they should be doing with all three of those characters.
But could he become like a Gangrel sort of character. And
I bloody hope not.
But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. It's a fine line, isn't it?
If you're trying to tell me that Rowan and Harper are going to turn into Edge and Christian, I'm going to tell you wrong right now.
No. What I'm trying to say though, it's a fine line, isn't it? It's, you know, does he end up that level? Which I'm saying is a Gangrel level is like maybe an Intercontinental Championship level.
Well,
it's never going to be the top tier, and I think that they shouldn't be ever doing that. They should be, you know, reaching for the stars, because this is a guy that could take their company forward. The crowd want to support Bray Wyatt, regardless how much you try and make him a heel.
The best thing you could do at the moment would be test the water, like you're saying, which is give him a significant belt. For me, give him an actual shot and winning the WWE title. Because for me, he's always had that bit of mystery around him, and it's like, you know, they're trying to reboot The Undertaker or something along those kind of lines. They're looking for the next thing that they want the universe to get behind. And whether he's a heel or a face, like The Undertaker, you were always behind that character because you knew exactly he eat, sleep, and basically was that character. That is exactly what, and I think that's what they want to do with Bray Wyatt, and I think it's lost its way ever so slightly, but it can find its way again.
But how many crowds and this is what I mean? How many superstars could get a crowd singing "He's got the whole world in his hands"? This is a guy that is truly over, but WWE just don't want to recognise it enough, and they keep going back to their old players like John Cena. That is the problem. If he gets given a belt, he would do it. And the other thing, the
difference. I'll let you finish. You go first.
Just to add, because I might as well get this one in there as well. The way that they could do something with a Bray Wyatt and a Lesnar, it could very well be done like the way that an Undertaker did things or a Mankind did things. You know, you have the old "death" and the lights go out. Why can't he just take the belt?
But this is the difference
kidnap
for me.
The belt from Brock Lesnar. Lesnar then has to go and hunt him down to get his belt back. And it gives another element to Bray. You know, he's sneaky, he's sadistic, plays tricks on Lesnar. Not funny tricks. I'm talking about ones where he literally does, you know, beat the crap out of Lesnar repeatedly. This is a different element that Lesnar would never have ever faced before, bar The Undertaker, who was weak at the time. That is the way to get someone to challenge a beast like Brock Lesnar, who seemingly cannot be defeated.
And this is the fundamental difference between the WWE and the WWF back then.
And my creative brain.
And your creative brain. Because back in the day, 1990, we get a mystery partner turn up for Ted DiBiase's team, and it's The Undertaker debuting at the Survivor Series 1990. 1 year later, he is in the main event of Survivor Series against Hulk Hogan, and he wins the belt. And he wins the belt, and that is the equivalent of Bray Wyatt taking that belt off a Brock Lesnar. Now, you know, at that point, it was like, how does anyone beat Hogan? You know, it was kind of similar. We're waiting for Hogan to disappear, and it's a similar image. And for me, that's the difference between the WWE and the WWF then, is that they don't take that kind of chance anymore with that belt. And that's why Lesnar was put in where he was. But that's, for me, what they should do would be go, Wyatt, show us what you can do. Show us what you can do. Here's Lesnar, go for it.
Well, no, and that, what you said sums it all up, is that they're not willing to take a risk. They're not willing to take a punt on a young talent like a Bray Wyatt, but they are willing to always go back to a John Cena, and that is
returning to WCW.
Well, but that is it, and that is worrying for guys like Prince Devitt, like Kenta, because if they come up to the main roster, we've seen it happen with your Fandangos, your Adam Rose. These are actually good wrestlers, good characters, but they're never going to get anywhere until WWE takes their head out of their arse and actually starts recognizing that they need to push the future and stop relying on a John Cena. And it's not Cena bashing. What it is fact.
It's bye-bye Vince.
Yeah, and I think Triple H gets it. I just don't know how much influence he has. We all know that Vince has the final nod, and yeah.
Bye-bye, Vince.
But I think the main thing today is that why has everybody forgot about Bray? Ding, 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 ding. I had to get that in. So anyway, I think that kind of wraps it up. Been going for a long time, Weeds. Been going for a long time.
We have indeed.
But I think it's been really good, and guys, get involved in the Forgot About Bray talk, hashtag Forgot About Bray, and tell me what you think of your feelings of what's going on with Bray Wyatt, what's going on with these creepy promos, what's going to happen to Harper and Rowan. They're going to go separate ways, they're going to feud against each other, are we going to get the Ascension? Whew, there's a lot to talk about. Now, last but not least on the show, Weeds, I've actually got some shout-outs today.
We got some shout-outs, have we?
We do indeed. So, the first one is Michael Carr, and he wanted to be Daniels approved. So, congratulations to you, you're Daniels approved. The next one is a regular, because I've seen this name before. It's Chandler, and I still can't pronounce your name very well, but I'll try my best. It's Chandler Kionig. So if I got that wrong, tell me. I'll try again next week. And you
got it wrong.
Try again next week then. And you are Bagwell and Daniels approved. So there you go. And last but not least, Nathan Powell. Nice easy one. You're Bagwell approved and Daniels approved. So you got the best of both worlds, like R. Kelly used to say, because I'm dropping hip-hop names just like The Rock. Tim Westwood. So there you go. And I mean, that kind of brings us to a close of another We Talk. So Weeds, have you got anything you want to put over? Because I've heard your channel's getting more subscribers and you're not even doing anything.
Of course not. I've got nothing to put over.
Who are you paying? Who are you paying to get that?
The bunny.
It's the bunny. So the bunny's just got a little button and he's pressing the button subscribing to your channel, is he?
He is. He's
bunny bashing.
Bunny bashing. I was going to say, well, until next week from me, mate, I'm going off to listen to 2001 and The Chronic by Dr. Dre to see if there's any Bray Wyatt references in his lyrics.
Sounds like a good call. I think I might actually do that. I'm actually going to go and record the music video whilst you're listening to it. So I'll get bearded up, get me out on, get me rocking chair ready, and I'm going to sing Forgot About Bray. Ding. What we should have that as the going out bit, ding, 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 ding. But we're not that technical here, so we don't have any sort of buttons where we can just press one and the song goes on and all that sort of... No, it's not that good. Anyway, guys, all that's left to be said, as per usual, is please rate, comment, and subscribe. Get involved in all the topics today. Follow Weeds at Weeds_world. And follow me at Delzinski on Twitter for shout-outs and all that kind of crazy shizzle. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. This is Delzinski and Weeds signing